Or political hack, serious Trump derangement syndrome, the corrupt attorney general of New York, all of that out of the mouth of former President Trump, just going off on the attorney general that's going after him. He was speaking from Wall Street as closing arguments are still underway in the civil fraud case against him, his family, and his business empire. But the New York AG, Letitia James, saying Trump and members of his family engaged in a decade-long scheme using fraud and misrepresentation as ways for personal gain. The state now seeking a $370 million penalty and also to ban Trump from participating in New York real estate. Senior reporter Catherine Falter is joining us now just outside the courthouse, along with executive editorial producer John Santucci and our legal contributor and assistant dean at Yale Jackson School of Global Affairs, Asha Rangappa. So, Catherine, from the courtroom to his hotel lobby, Trump insists he is innocent here.
Yeah, Kira, and you know this all too well. We heard a lot of the same talking points here down at 40 Wall Street. He arrived here with his lead lawyer, Alina Habba, who you heard from in that courtroom earlier today, and essentially said that this is all politically motivated, that it's a political witch hunt, and repeated what he said to the court, to the judge today. He was asked a series of questions how he's going to juggle the campaign appearances with weaving in and out of the courtroom. We know that he will be in New Hampshire, for example, back on the campaign trail. But again, used this as essentially a campaign stump speech in addition to his legal woes. We're going to be seeing a lot of this in the future. You saw this in Washington, D.C. earlier this week, where he was in that courtroom before an appeals court and then went down the street to a hotel to speak and essentially, again, attack this all as politically motivated and claim that he is being unfairly targeted.
And there may have been a few reporters in the room there throwing out questions, but he also had plenty of his supporters in the lobby as well to cheer him on. Asha, bottom line here, whatever Trump says, this case does have the possibility of dismantling his business empire.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we have a saying in the law, Kira, that if you have the facts, pound the facts. If you have the law, pound the law. If you don't have either, just pound the table. And so this is what he's doing, because the defense that he's offered, the multiple defenses, which is just sort of distraction, really, I don't think will overcome the vast, documentation and transactional evidence that the Attorney General has presented. And yes, if the judge finds that Trump is liable, then he is going to try to make the state of New York whole, which will mean disgorging Trump of his profits. And as you mentioned, the Attorney General is asking for $370 million and the corporate death penalty. So that is very much a possibility here.
So John, Trump said in court that his financial statements were perfect and that he is innocent, but that's not true.
No, the statements definitely were called under question multiple times when Donald Trump was on the stand, when his two adult children, Eric and Don, were both called on the stand as well. They, of course, running the company, Kira, when Donald Trump was living at the White House, and called into question about documents they signed that they admitted under oath that they didn't necessarily review all the supporting documents that went with it, right? Like measuring the size of Donald Trump's apartment, all of which, Kira, it turns they didn't have the accurate numbers.
So, Catherine, what happens next?
Well, look, I think we just wait to see, at least in this case, what happens next, given that closing arguments are wrapping here. But, Kira, I think looking ahead, and John knows this, too, from talking to sources close to Trump, this isn't the last time he will appear in a courthouse. In fact, far from that. He will be up here for the E. Jean Carroll trial that's scheduled to start. We know that he has been attending these appearances in the federal cases, whether it's the January 6th matter or the investigation into classified documents. He doesn't have to be attending those until those go to trial, which those trial dates are a bit unclear at this point. But he will be, again, weaving in and out from the campaign trail to the courtroom.
So at the end of the day, John, is Trump ever going to be broke?
Gee, crystal ball question. No, I don't think so, because of $370 million. And here's the other thing to remember. If that is upheld and if he has to sell everything, he gets to make money from selling things. It's one of the things a source close to Donald Trump said to me. And look, in New York, Catherine's outside 40 Wall Street, which is downtown. He's got a lot of buildings. You know, he often says Fifth Avenue, and his tower with his name out front, is one of the most iconic addresses. Several people would obviously pay money for it. He's got the hotel that's off Columbus Circle, just down the block from where I am right now, Kira. And, you know, don't take my word for it. Look at what Donald Trump did in Washington, D.C. He did sell his hotel. He sold it for $100 million over what people thought he could get. The Waldorf Astoria is now what was once the Trump Hotel.
Asha, if Trump and his team do appeal, how long do you see this playing out? Clearly, he'd love to stretch it out as long as possible.
Yes, I think it would potentially stretch out for months, but you know, it's only got a limit. This is not like some of these other cases where this involves some kind of issue that would go all the way to the Supreme Court or something like that. This will go through the appellate system. I think, you know, at a normal or maybe even faster pace, and eventually there will be a final judgment.
Pound the facts. I'm never going to forget that. Catherine, Asha, John, thank you both, or all three of you, so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.